Hello again. You're watching today on eNCA TV channel 43 with me, Dan Moyane. Now let's bring you this story. It's about the former Mozambique finance minister, Manuel Chang, is likely to be extradited after his government was denied leave to appeal his extradition to the United States. He's facing corruption charges in the U.S. This is the second time that the Johannesburg High Court has denied an appeal. And of course, this one came from the Supreme Court of Appeal. For more on this, I'm joined by Professor Adriano Nuvunga, Director for the Center for Democracy and Development in Mozambique. He's also a member of the Forum de Monitoria de Orçamento. It's the Budget Monitoring Forum of Mozambique, which is the organization that's been driving the case here in South Africa against Manuel Chang. Prof, good afternoon. Welcome. So, the South African Supreme Court of Appeal is the latest to deny the government of Mozambique their application for leave to appeal the bid against Manuel Chang's extradition to the United States. Your reaction to this news?
Good afternoon. We, as the Mozambique Budget Monitoring Forum and the overall civil society in Mozambique, we are pleased. We jubilate to read that the Supreme Court of Appeal has rejected the application to appeal against the solid decision by the High Court of Gauteng to extradite Manuel Chang to America. We jubilate because this is consistent with the fight against impunity. It is consistent with the fight against corruption, and it does justice for the suffering people of Mozambique and also of the region.
So what's next in this case? Does this mean that Mr. Chang is now likely to be extradited to the United States?
He is very close. He is very close to be extradited. They still have one station that they can use. They can still go back to the Constitutional Court, where they already have been there wrongly, and their application was rejected. They can still go there. But we are confident that the Constitutional Court will rightly dismiss also this, and that will be the end of the road. And without further delays, we believe that Minister Lamola will send Mr. Manuel Chang to the United States of America.
Have you got any indication in Maputo as the forum for the monitoring of the budget of Mozambique, whether or not Mozambique's Attorney General will be going to the South African Constitutional Court in another bid to stop the extradition of Mr. Chang to the US?
It is still silent up until now. We haven't heard anything, but we believe that they will use that small window of opportunity that they have, but also it's an opportunity to waste the money of the people of Mozambique. They have been paying huge amounts of money for their attorneys in South Africa. So we think that they will still go that road. It is very narrow, but they will explore that one. But as we have indicated, we believe in the South African judicial system, in its credibility and independence, that it will do the right thing.
Now, as we know, Mr. Chang is implicated in that hidden debt scandal. He's reported, while he was finance minister, to have signed off government guarantees on the $2 billion secret loans from Russia's TVB Bank and Credit Suisse. Why it appears that the Mozambican government under President Philippe Nyusi does not want Chang to be extradited in the US? Why they don't want him to go there?
We want Mr. Chang to be extradited to United States because that is the only window for justice to be served. As the people of the region, the people of Mozambique have seen the trial here in Mozambique of the illegal debt. It was not credible. It was in court only a small part of the funds. In fact, it was focusing on the kickbacks, not on the actual $2 billion and the perpetrators. So those who have orchestrated, namely the former president and also the current president, because at the time of events, it was the defense minister, they were protected by the judicial system. This is one hand. On the other hand, the verdict, even if focusing in a very small amount of that money, it was very generous. And these people will be allowed to go free in a few years, and they keep the money that they have taken from the Mozambican people. So it is not credible. So the only opportunity in the absence of a SADC tribunal, we believe that that's the only way we can have justice and signal a strong move from the region to fight corruption, to fight impunity.
So you're thinking that President Nyusi's government is trying to stop the extradition of Mr. Chang to the U.S. because he might be implicated himself. At the time of this hidden debt, he was the defense minister, and some of the companies that benefited from this were involved in defense. So he might have known something about it.
There is no doubt about that. When the other co-conspirator was tried in Brooklyn, he has clearly indicated that the overall entourage that coalesced around the President Gebuza, particularly the then defense minister, has something to say about this, and is directly implicated. And here in Mozambique, control the judiciary here, but overseas they cannot. So the fear is that if Manuel Chang is extradited, we will know everything about this case, particularly where are they hiding the money? Because there is a particular issue here, is where the money is. There was a forensic audit indicating that $500 million, it is unaccounted for. And we believe that that money is sitting somewhere in foreign banks. We, the people of Mozambique, we want that money to be repatriated to help us in the fight against poverty, to fight against hunger and the humanitarian crisis in Cabo Delgado. So we're pushing for that. But these people, they want to keep this money, but they want to go off the hook of the justice. So we want them.
Finally, Professor Nuvunga, before we conclude, this matter has been going on for like 4 years now. That's when Manuel Chang was arrested on instructions from the United States via Interpol when he landed here at the OR Tambo International Airport, and he's still in prison here in South Africa. Will you then, I'm assuming you will, in fact, oppose any other application by the Mozambique Attorney General to the Constitutional Court here to try and prevent, as an appeal for them to stop the likely extradition to the U.S. of Mr. Chang? You're going to be opposing their application if it happens?
Exactly. We are waiting. We are waiting. We will act depending on the move from the Mozambique PGR. If they decide to make an application, we will immediately activate our generous and people of goodwill who are our lawyers in South Africa to immediately also submit an application to stop that, showing that the credibility of the Mozambique justice system to try Manuel Chang is zero. So the only place where justice can be served, I repeat, in the absence of a SADC tribunal, it is America.